Fixed action pattern part 3. In the previous two lectures we have studied about what is fixed action pattern. Then we studied some examples of the fixed action pattern, how scientists have studied whether this is a innate fixed action pattern or whether it is a learned behavior, the Casper Hausers. Today we will study the properties of fixed action pattern. The properties of fixed action pattern, there are three properties which are included in the fixed action pattern. The first is constancy or stereotype. The second is resistant to phylogenetic changes. And third is need sign stimulus for release. So these are the three properties of fixed action pattern, that it remains constant throughout the species, then it is resistant to phylogenetic changes, that it has not changed with evolution, and needs sign stimulus for release. Until and unless the sign stimulus is present, the fixed action pattern does not occur. So we will study the first property of fixed action pattern. The first is constancy or stereotype. Constancy or stereotype. Instincts are inherited and are similar in all individuals of a species. If you take any species, then the instinct of all the individual will be similar. The behavior of the individual will vary, the learned behaviors will vary, but the instinct will be similar. For example, if we take digger wasp, or if we see the weaver birds, they build their nest in the same way. All the individuals of the weaver bird will build their nest in the same way. That is, their behavior, their pattern of building the nest will not change with the individual. The roosters of the same species court their females in generally the same way. The same way is used by all individuals. So this shows that instincts are inherited. Then instincts involve complex and often highly rigid patterns of behavior. We have seen the leg formation in sand grouse. It involves a complex and highly rigid pattern of behavior in which numerous muscles, muscle groups, organs and system function in an extremely coordinated fashion. So the instinct, if you see, it involves a very precise movement, very precise movements of muscles, organs and various systems. But these are being wired into the genome, and all individuals of the same species perform the same type of instinctive behavior. So it is constant or stereotype in all individuals. So FAP are found to be the same in all members of a species, stereotype, and cannot be influenced in performance by external stimulus. See, for fixed action pattern we need an external stimulus, but once an FAP starts, it cannot be influenced in performance by the external stimulus. A classic example of FAP is provided in the study of egg rolling in the grey-leg geese. We have seen the video of grey-leg geese in the fixed action pattern lecture part 1. These birds build their shallow nest in the ground, and the grey-leg goose singular uses a stereotype of behavior to bring back eggs that roll out of the nest. And we also saw that if the egg of grey-leg goose was replaced by a ball, the female performs the same behavior. That is, the behavior is not influenced. It is the same behavior. Then the movement shown in the video 1, the movement in the video 1, lecture 1 of FAP, we have seen the grey-leg goose rolling out the egg rolling behavior. No matter in which environment or circumstances it may live, it need not watch conspecifics doing this action. This is performed automatically. The site of an egg outside the nest acts as a stimulus, which is known as the sign or the key stimulus, which is the property of FAP, the third property, which we will read later, and that elicits egg rolling behavior. So the first property is the constancy or stereotype. Now we will move to the second property of FAP, which is resistant to phylogenetic changes. Resistant to phylogenetic changes. FAP, which we call as instincts, are extremely conservative in the evolution of species. See, this is very important. Conservative, that is, they have remained conserved, they have remained same throughout the evolution of a species. They have not changed during the course of evolution, and this shows that they provide selection, uh, positive selection to the species. The species is preferred because of that specific FAP. The species is preferred over another organism, and that's why it is able to survive. So the FAP, they also have an evolutionary significance. Then it has been assumed that once they have appeared in a species, they are resistant to phylogenetic change occurring through evolution. How can we study this? This can be studied by comparing the behavior of long-tailed and short-tailed monkeys. When a long-tailed monkey runs along a branch, its tails move from side to side for achieving balance. We all know that tail is an balancing organ. So when a long-tailed monkey runs, the tail moves in a coordinated pattern side to side to achieve the balance. This is a fixed action pattern. Now the short-tailed monkeys, they have stopped using their tail as a structure for balancing. Yet they perform similar type of movements of tail. Probably short-tailed monkeys evolved from long-tailed monkeys where tail had an important function of balancing and FAP, fixed action pattern. So FAP once evolved persisted even though the relevant morphological structure had disappeared. So in the short-tailed monkey, the same movement is seen, but the short-tailed monkey do not use the tail for balancing, but it is supposed that they evolved from the long-tailed monkeys. That's why as an FAP, the movement of tail is still present in the short-tailed monkey.